Hi, my students. Today I am going to start a new lecture series on the nervous system. This is a somewhat long lecture series. We will learn one by one. At the end of this lecture, which is on the introduction of the nervous system, you should know the organization of the nervous system and the structure of neurons and also their functions and their components. You should know how to classify neurons based on their function and structure. And also, you should know the function of the myelin sheath and describe its formation in central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. First, we will see the functions of the nervous system. The main function of the nervous system is the regulation and coordination of the body activities in order to survive of that particular organism. It is done through different activities such as maintaining homeostasis, and also it receives sensory inputs from internal as well as external stimuli, and then the nervous system integrates this information in order to identify the stimuli and also decide the output. The output or the response is given by controlling muscles and the glands. Other than that, the nervous system is also important in order to establish and maintain mental activities. Now we are going to learn about the organization of the nervous system. This is very important because when you know the organization of the nervous system, it will be very easy to learn about the functions of each part of the nervous system. This is the organization of the nervous system. First, the nervous system is broadly divided into two main systems, that is, peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system. Central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system contain the nerves which arise from the central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system again divide into two divisions called efferent division and afferent division. The efferent division again divide into two main systems called autonomic system and somatic system. The autonomic system is composed of enteric system, parasympathetic system, and sympathetic system. So we will learn them in detail one by one. First, we will see the central nervous system. It consists of brain and the spinal cord. As we all know, brain is located within the skull. The spinal cord is located within the vertebral canal, which is formed by the series of vertebrae. The brain and the spinal cord are continuous with each other at the foramen magnum. So you can see it in the image below. The peripheral nervous system consists of all the nervous tissue which are outside the central nervous system. It mainly includes the sensory receptors, nerves, ganglia, and also plexus. What are the sensory receptors? They can be exist as free endings of neurons or as separate specialized cells. Sensory receptors are important to detect different changes in the environment. Different parameters like temperature, pain, touch, pressure, and many other stimuli are there. In order to get these stimulations, they are located in skin, muscles, joints, internal organs, and also in specialized sensory organs such as eyes and ears. There are many sensory receptors in your skin. They are categorized into different types according to the stimuli that they detect. For example, nociceptors respond to excess heat, pressure, or chemicals. Thermoreceptors detect temperature changes of skin and blood. And also, the photoreceptors detect light changes. This image gives you the idea what are the different types of sensory organs located in the skin. What is a nerve? A nerve is a bundle of nerve fibers. These nerve fibers are called axons. When we take these bundles of axons with their sheaths, it is called a nerve. Nerves are important to connect central nervous system with the sensory receptors as well as the muscles and glands, which shows the response to the nerve impulse. When we are talking about nerves, there are two main types of nerves in our body, that is cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves originate from brain and there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Spinal nerves originate from the spinal cord and there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves in our body. This picture shows you the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. We will learn about them later. This image tells you about the 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Another part of peripheral nervous system is ganglion. A ganglion is a collection of neuronal cell bodies which are located outside the central nervous system. A plexus is an extensive network of axons which are located outside the central nervous system. Sometimes plexus also contain neuronal cell bodies other than axons. The peripheral nervous system divides into two main functional subdivisions called the sensory division and the motor division. The sensory division transmits electrical signals from the sensory receptors to the CNS. As the sensory division transmits these electrical signals from sensory receptors towards the central nervous system, it is also called afferent division, which gives the meaning of towards. The motor division transmits electrical signals from the central nervous system to effector organs such as muscles and glands. As the motor division transmits electrical signals from central nervous system, it is also called efferent division, which gives the meaning of away from the central nervous system. So in this way, the peripheral nervous system divides into two main functional parts as the afferent division or the sensory division and the efferent division or the motor division. This image will give you the idea about the afferent and efferent divisions. You can see that sensory input goes through the efferent division to the brain, and there it is integrated and identify the sensor. Then it starts to respond through the motor output, that is the efferent division, which goes to muscles and glands of the body and make a response. So the sensory division detects stimuli and transmit information in the form of action potentials towards the central nervous system. The central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord is the major site for processing this information. So then they initiate responses and integrate mental processes with those responses. The motor division transmits action potential from the central nervous system to effector organs such as muscles and glands. So this image gives you the basic idea how these sensory and motor divisions work. First, you can see as the sensory receptors detect the change in the environment, that signal goes through the sensory neuron or the sensory division or the afferent division towards the central nervous system. There, they recognize the stimulus and then integrate this information in order to create the response. Then the signal about this response goes through the motor neuron or motor division or the efferent division to the muscles or the glands where that response takes place. When we are considering the motor division, it is again divided into two subdivisions which are called somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is involved in voluntary actions. So, it is called the voluntary division of the somatic nervous system, while the autonomic nervous system is involved in involuntary actions. So you can see, according to the organization of the nervous system, the efferent division or the motor division of peripheral nervous system again divides into two main systems called autonomic system and somatic system. So as we know that the somatic nervous system is a part of motor nervous system. So motor nervous system is involved in making responses to a stimuli. The somatic nervous system is the part which allows us to consciously control the movements of our skeletal muscles. That is, we can think and control or make a movement through our skeletal muscles. It is done through the nerve impulses which originate in the central nervous system and are transmitted through the somatic nervous system to the skeletal muscles. Autonomic nervous system is the other part of the motor division. So it controls our unconscious activities such as contraction of smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, and also secretions of certain glands. So in this picture you can see a comparison of somatic and autonomic nervous systems. We will learn in depth about them later in this lecture series. The autonomic nervous system again subdivides into two divisions, the sympathetic division and the parasympathetic division. The sympathetic division is active during physical activities, and the parasympathetic division regulates resting functions such as digesting foods, emptying the urinary bladder, which occur when we are relaxing. This picture will give you the idea the functions of parasympathetic and sympathetic divisions of the autonomic nervous system. According to this organization of nervous system, there is another component of autonomic nervous system, that is enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system is a very unique nervous system which is located in the wall of digestive tract. It consists of plexus or nerve network within the wall of digestive tract. It is responsible for the control of digestive tract independently to the central nervous system. But still, central nervous system can regulate the enteric functions via parasympathetic and sympathetic functions. This is the summary of organization of the nervous system. First, there is a central nervous system which is formed by brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system connects the central nervous system with the receptors and the effectors. Therefore, peripheral nervous system divides into two main divisions, the sensory division and the motor division. Sensory division is important to conduct impulses from receptors to the central nervous system. And the motor division is involved in conducting impulses from the central nervous system to effectors such as muscles and glands. Then motor division is further divided into somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is involved in voluntary motor actions, while the autonomic nervous system is involved in involuntary motor system. So the autonomic nervous system again divides into sympathetic division and the parasympathetic divisions, which are important for the involuntary actions during rest period as well as during exercise. So this is the end of the first part of the introduction of nervous system.